Salam alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. I'd like to spend a few minutes thinking about how we can learn how to live well together. The organisation that I work for, the St Philip Centre, has learning to live well together as our main aim, and we do that primarily through helping people encounter each other. Over the past few years we've mainly done that online, but more recently we've had the joy and the privilege of bringing people who see the world very differently together in the same space to talk to each other, to understand each other, and mainly to not agree with each other. You may think that's a little bit odd for an organisation that says we're about learning to live well together, but actually, in our experience, if we encourage people solely to agree on everything, the conversation very quickly becomes stilted and staid as people try desperately to find things they agree on and risk without wanting to risk upsetting or offending anybody else. Rather than getting everybody to agree, you see, what we want them to do is to understand how each other see the world. And I think that's a virtue that we need more of in society today. It's great, of course, when we agree on the big things of life. It's great when we agree on the small things of life, like how fun it is to gather over a cup of tea and eat samosas and chat together. But we don't agree on everything. There are different perspectives on who God is, on the most important things in life, and so on and so forth. How can we disagree in a way that doesn't lead to hatred or violence or rejection of other people? Fundamentally, how can we disagree in a way that allows us still to trust each other and still to cooperate together for the good of all? That's what we try to do at the St Philip Centre, and we think you can only do that by getting to know each other, by taking courageous risks and saying, this is who I am, this is what I believe. Who are you? What do you believe? We say we're an organisation about learning to live well together, not studying it. Let me give you an example about bicycles to help you understand that. You could study the technical mechanics of how to build a bicycle, of what the most aerodynamic design might be. You could study the science of how to race well and what to eat and so on and so forth. Most of us don't do that though. Most of us simply learn how to ride a bike. And probably through learning you fell off. You might have scraped your knees, you might have grazed your elbow. But what you really need to do when you fall off your bike is get back on. The longer you leave it between the fall and the getting back on, the harder it is. And I suggest to you, the longer you leave it between finding somebody you disagree with and learning how to trust and cooperate with them, the harder that is. So I encourage you, get to know people who see the world differently from you. Build a relationship of trust with them and cooperate together with them to make our world a better place. Let's resolve together to learn how to live well together and to cooperate for the good of all.